Very good evening. Welcome to the show. Delighted to have your company. As always, we've got plenty more to come. You won't want to miss, whether you're a Manchester United fan or not. If you're a fan of coaching, Rennie Mullerstein's book, United Surroundings and Me, is a lot about him, but some brilliant aspects of coaching. Not to be missed, with us at 8:30, he's assistant at the Socceroos. They play Mexico in a qualifier. And there's also European qualifiers, of course, for all of the home countries coming up towards the end of the week. We're talking action first of all, though. Today, there was some terrific action today. Palace beat Wolves by 3-2. Liverpool far too good for Aston Villa today. And that's a really good position that Liverpool beginning to put themselves back in, playing once more. And Arsenal came out on top against Manchester United, a really exciting game. Could have gone either way at certain stages. I thought Arsenal missed a couple of chances. Manchester United, Marcus Rashford looked good today and he scored for them. But it was Arsenal back into it through Odegaard just a minute after Rashford had scored in the first half. And then two very late goals. Declan Rice with the second, and then Jesus with a third when it was all over by then. Garnacho, though, had a goal for Manchester United that was the minutest of offsides, which could have made a real difference with a couple of minutes to go when the score was still 1-1 at that stage. Richard Butler, Arsenal podcaster, over and Arsenal, of course, is with us right now, as is Conal Aspinall, United faithfuls. Gentlemen, very good evening to you. Welcome to both of you. It was a cracking game for those of us who don't support either side, but bits and pieces at times, good and bad for both of you. Are we there, guys? Yeah. Oh, there we are. It's good to see you. One on top of the other. I think it's... But there we are. You don't know that. I can see it. It's good to see the two of you. Richard, I'll come to you first, if I may. And in the end, you got it done. It was a good game, but a bit nervy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, lots happened, didn't it? It seemed like everything seemed to be condensed into the last 10 minutes of normal time plus all the stoppage time, didn't it? I mean, it could have gone either way, the game all the way through, really. I mean, not much in it. Man United had a lot of possession, didn't really create a lot of chances. We didn't have too many chances either, but I thought when Bukayo Saka missed that big one in the second half, I thought that was it then. And then, of course, the goal that was disallowed was very, very fortunate on our side. I mean, sometimes they go the other way, don't they? And we're 2-1 down and we probably lose the game. So, yeah, we had the penalty that, again, VAR maybe got that one right, perhaps looking back on it. At the time, you think, yeah, it's a penalty. It looked like he caught him. But when you see the replay, they probably got that one right. The offside's probably right as well, even though it's marginal. And then, of course, the drama at the end, a bit like last season's game, wasn't it? When we won it in stoppage time, we did it again this time. It's not good for the heart rate maybe, but it's certainly exciting for the fans in the stadium, people watching on telly and whatever. I mean, it was a dramatic finish, and I suppose over the years, Arsenal Man United games have tended to produce a lot of drama, haven't they? Yeah. And it certainly didn't disappoint today.
No, it didn't. And just another quick one with you there, Declan Rice and that winning goal, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's played well since he's joined the club. We all love him. His enthusiasm on the pitch, what he brings as well. And to finally get him his goal, quite early on, his fourth game in the Premier League, a nice time to get a goal as well. And, you could see how much it meant to him, the way he celebrated it. Obviously, it was an important goal as well at the time in the game it came. But I'm delighted for him because, we've paid a lot of money for him. And I think there's a certain amount of pressure on him to perform for Arsenal. I think he's done well so far. Now he's got a goal. Hopefully, we'll go on and see even better things from him because he's a fantastic player and he's brought a lot to the team already.
Do you know the difference, though, and I'll come, if I may, to you, Connor, here, is that Declan Rice feels wanted. Yes, he's got quality. Yes, he's got class. Yes, he's going to be slightly nervous. Of course he is as he starts shaping it with a new side. But you brought on Harry Maguire, who is troubled about whether he stays or goes and now isn't going anywhere. And, I've enjoyed Johnny Evans over the years. But at the age he is, him coming off the bench and the two of them playing at the back towards the end of that game, that's not Manchester United.
That is what we've unfortunately become under this ownership. If you look at any other team that we brought off Lisandro Martinez and Victor Lindelof, and you're replacing them with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, who was signed on a free contract after he wasn't wanted by Leicester, which sort of sums up where we're at the moment with our owners. Obviously, Harry Maguire should have gone to West Ham in the summer. Obviously, he rejected that in a bid to play football. He's played 5 minutes today and he's sort of thrown away a game for us. But apart from that, we've got 5 injuries now to first-team defenders, and we're having to play our right back at left back because both left backs are out. So at the moment, it's looking quite bleak in terms of injuries.
Yeah, but I don't see it's a difficult thing to where you go. The manager afterwards says he felt you did enough to win. I'm not sure that that was the case at all today. It was a tight game, yes, and it could have gone either way. And you had that opportunity right at the end of the game, which was an absolutely fantastic finish by Garnacho, even though it wasn't given. But Manchester United, as we know, and you know as fans more than anything, can't turn up now and expect to have that extra Fergie factor that they used to have to get things done, and they've drifted, and that's half the problem here.
Yeah, I think that was a similar sort of problem that we had at the Emirates last season. We played really well in the first half and the first sort of 20 minutes of the second half, and then sort of faded towards the last half an hour. Obviously, on a different day, we could have got the winner there if Garnacho's just slightly a bit more behind play, but that's football, I suppose. The way that the game goes away from you is obviously disappointing, but I thought it was encouraging overall as a game. Yeah,
well, that's fair enough to say, Connor. Richard, back to you here as well. There was some great moments, but on a couple of other occasions, you might need to have put away a couple of chances that you should have put away.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've not started the season looking as fluid as we did much of last season. One reason or another, I know the formations maybe changed slightly. We've got Kai Havertz in the team who's adapting maybe slightly slower to the way we played and what we hoped he would. And I think that, today we look slightly better defensively because we had our normal back four from last season playing again due to the injury to Thomas Partey. Whether or not that change would have happened had Partey been fit, we won't know. But it happened, and it's a good thing maybe looking forward because we've won the game with our kind of more regular back four, if you like. So hopefully going forward we'll continue with that. But yeah, we're not playing as fluidly as we were, but we're unbeaten, 3 wins out of 4 with a draw in the other game, which we should have won as well. So we can't really have too many complaints with where we are at the moment, but we are going to have to play a lot better as the season progresses. But last season we started well and fell away. If this season we start maybe slightly slower and get better, then that might be a good sign when it comes down to April and May time when the title decided. We'll have to see. But so far, so good. We're picking up points without playing that well, and that's the sign of a good side, isn't it? Because that's how you win trophies, isn't it, by doing that? So let's hope that we can... I think today's going to be important moving forward. I think the way that we won the game so late on in a game that we could easily have lost, that we thought we had lost 10 minutes before, to go on and win that game in the way that we did, I think that's going to give us a good boost going into the international break. And when we come back, hopefully we can start to regain some of the fluidity that we had last season, which served us so well. But we'll have to see. But it was an important win today, definitely.
Yeah, and just one more, Richard, on that. You're saying about your back four. For me, and I think for many others as well, if you've got a solid back four, you don't have to keep chopping and changing that back four, do you? Just to try something else and something different. With those 4 at the back, you look much more settled going forward as the game went on, to me.
Yeah, I mean, back to the George Graham days, you get your back 4 and they play every week. And for some reason, Mikel Arteta's sort of changed that slightly at the start. He did it a little bit at the end of last season. Maybe we'd lost a couple of games. He wanted to try something different. It didn't necessarily work, but he stuck with it at the start of this season, maybe hoping that with time it will adapt. But I think today we saw that with this back 4, in front of the goalkeeper, I think that's the base that we need to build on. And then moving forward from here, you can make some changes maybe in midfield. We've got a lot of options there. We've got options in the front 3. We saw today Jesus came on, scored a great goal. So maybe change a few things there in that area of the pitch if you want to. Yeah, rotate players, you need to do that. But I think get your back 4 right. And I think if we do that, then I can't see us going too far wrong in that side of things.
Connor, of course, when we talk about where clubs are and treading water, there was 1 or 2 reports again this week that the Glazers, certainly today, that the Glazers may now not sell until 2025 when they think they get a better price or everything. You're being mucked about by all of this, aren't you?
You're right there. I think we've been up for sale since it would have been last November. So nearly a year now, and we've had no progress on anything. Obviously, from what I know and what you hear from people close to the process, is obviously there's been no communication from the Glazers so far that they've taken us off the market. I know the report came out last night, but that's not been followed up by anybody credible as of yet. So I don't know if that is the case, and I wouldn't have thought they're going to be holding out for 10 billion anyway. I think it's closer to 6 billion, which even in itself is still extortionate considering what the club's valued at.
I completely agree with you, and I think that was when only a couple of weeks ago there was some people saying this deal is going through. My understanding from my contacts, that wasn't the case. Same as you there. But I also think, though, that with all of this, it's not you're not in limbo or anything like that. But you've got to get on with what you've got, and we'll go back to where you started. Why? Why, this is with full respect for Johnny Evans. Why Johnny Evans, and why have Harry Maguire on the bench at the moment? He can't be right in the way he's thinking at the moment with everything that's gone on.
I think the Johnny Evans one has come from maybe a bit of saving from the Glazers rather than having to fork out however many millions on buying somebody else in. Obviously, that would have happened if Harry Maguire had have left. That obviously becomes the cheaper option because Johnny Evans comes in on a free contract, and Harry Maguire sort of, I wouldn't say he shot himself in the foot, but he'd have been one of the central points of that West Ham defence had he gone there, and obviously he turned down the move. So we're now obviously sort of left with him, even though he's not going to get many minutes with us.
Yeah, and one of the for me bonuses. Let's talk a little more about him. Marcus Rashford is back playing as he should do. There was a couple of occasions there when he got to the byline as well, when he had that old shape where he's going to go and then he doesn't, and then he sort of nearly relaxes and goes again, and he's completely disrupted the defence. But you need more than that.
Yeah, I think obviously when he plays off that left-hand side, he's definitely the most dangerous player we have. It's sort of pointless wasting him up front. I think we saw that in the first couple of games. Now that he's been moved out to that left-hand side in the last 2 games, he's been one of our better performers, and his goal today was just sort of eclipses what he is. You give him the ball on the break, you let him cut inside, and he punishes you normally. And there's a few times where he created good chances. I thought Højlund was he created one for Højlund that he just couldn't quite get to. He definitely looked very dangerous today. And also, one part of the game I enjoyed was his tracking back, which is something we've always been critical of him. He tracked back really well today, as well as Anthony on the other side.
Little international break now, possibly not what you want, really.
Not after a defeat. It's going to feel like sort of 2 months rather than 2 weeks before we come back. Obviously, when you win and go into an international break, that's brilliant because then you come back up buzzing off of confidence. But to go and there's obviously 2 defeats away from home now, and it continues that barren record of not winning any of the top 9 from last season. So obviously knocks a bit of confidence, and then coming back, your first game back is Brighton, who are one of the informed teams in the league at the moment, so it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, and certainly for Arsenal, you don't really want to break either for the other reasons.
No, I mean, we've got a bit of momentum built up now. I know last week's game against Fulham didn't end the best way, so I think today was important that we've won. And yeah, when you win a game, you want to play again quickly, don't you, to keep going. But I think I agree there that, international break is good to go into an international break on the back of a victory, because then, the players are away, they come back, everybody's buzzing, ready for the next game. And I think that's a good thing because it's a tough game for us next as well. We're away at Everton, where we don't have a great record either. So I know they're struggling, but it's been a banana skin for us. So I think we needed this win today. And yeah, hopefully it's got what we need going into a break. You want to go in it with 3 points, don't you? So especially a 3 points against a team that we're going to be battling with for that top 4. There's no doubt about that again. And any victory against those sort of teams is so important. To get one early in the season is brilliant.
Yeah. And just a final word from you, Connor, on this. That from the fans to the owners and the management, either tell us that you're not selling or get on with it and get it done.
100%, because anybody you want clarity on these situations. This is one of the biggest. This could be one of the biggest moments in this football club's history because of what they've done to us for the last 18 years. But there really does need to be, and obviously from what I know, there is no communication between Ten Hag and his team, between the owners. So he hasn't got a clue either what's going on, and that can't be boding well for him. And that was obviously filtering down to the players, because I can't imagine that they're too supportive of this ownership either.
Well, I think both you, Connor, And you, Richard. 8:30 tonight. Rennie Moulenstein is talking to me. It's a brilliant book. It's United, Sir Alex and Me, My Life in Football. It's much more than just Manchester United, though, and the great Sir Alex Ferguson. It's really a coaching masterclass for all of us and what he has done in his great career. So something to put a smile on both your faces in the next half an hour or so. Rennie with us at 8:30. Thank you to Richard and Connor for joining us on the Sunday Night Club here on Talk TV.